Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot covered call video. Well, hey, look, today we're going to talk about Las Vegas Sands and how they absolutely are getting ripped this morning. Apparently, they did not meet Wall Street's expectations when it comes to earnings, and here we are. They have fallen off tremendously. Now, we have to understand this is what Wall Street typically does with Las Vegas Sands, because if we go back to our last earnings report, we had the same deal. They actually announced earnings where they made money. Wall Street didn't like it, and they sold it off. Yet, they then rallied the stock back almost near 60. So what we want to do here is be patient, understand that we're getting value. On top of all of that, we want to try to now use this as a crumb collector, right? We are now in that beautiful space where we don't have any earnings, and the ex-date doesn't seem to be much of an issue. They only have a 25-cent dividend, so I think we can work around that. So right now is when I want to take action. And in this case, we're talking the poor man's covered call. You can see every time we look at the chart and we get that kind of support, that's a good sign, because Wall Street right now could absolutely sell this off to the lower 40s. But it's hanging right near these last 2 points of support and this last breakthrough of resistance. So I'm digging this number. 46.75 is where I want to get involved if I'm looking to play Sands. Now, you know I already have a position in Sands, and you can see it is a poor man's covered call trade. And what we've done, back March 20th, we went ahead and bought Leaps call options when the stock was trading at 50.37. Now, I thought at that point we had a good spot. Well, now we have an even better spot if I like Las Vegas Sands for the long term, which I do. Now, these are the June 2024 Leaps call options. So I have just a couple to 3 months here to work with this, and that's what we're going to do. So with that said, you can see that I have written covered calls with my 10 Leaps call options, and we've made some tidy premium profits. Now, the stock has treaded around that 50 mark, and I was loving life. I sent the members an email where I talked about getting involved with Las Vegas Sands, whether it be a cash secured put or buy the shares or do a poor man's covered call trade. And that's what I've elected to do. So one of the things I want you to note is that because of this recent fall, we're going to go ahead and add some Leaps call options here to reduce our break even. And that's what I did. This morning I go in, I buy another 5, and we started running some numbers. And this is the most important part. If you're going to get involved with a poor man's covered call, you need these trackers and calculators, okay? In the description below, you have access to the brand new 2024 poor man's covered call tracker. I've had the old one up online, and it's great to track your poor man's covered call trades, but the new one, the new one has all of these new trackers, and I use these every single time. You know, this is not something I talk about and I never use. This trade right here that I just completed, and it is live right now for the members to see. Of course, they got the email where we talk about why I got involved with this trade and why I've decided to add to the trade instead of looking to bail. I actually think there's a great opportunity, but that's me, and I'm putting my money at risk. Well, this is what I show the members. Here's the critical part of this. We have to understand where our Leaps call option will be priced if we pick a strike price that's under where we got involved in the stock. See, one of the things with the poor man's covered call most people don't consider, and a lot of people want to be critical of. You know, when you're using Leaps call options, the key is to understand your cost basis and where you got involved, because typically that's where you need to get out. And with my trackers, I calculate where I need to get out. Right now, basically, if the stock gets above 48, my Leaps call option will be priced just a little bit under my cost basis on the Leaps call options, which right now is $11.80. I get out at $11.29. That's not too bad when you consider the stock has been hammered. That's what we look to do. We run these calculations so we determine the next strike price I can use. A lot of people will sit on their hands. They will coil up in the fetal position and not trade Las Vegas Sands until it gets near their entry point. And I'll tell you what, that's where you miss all the great opportunities. And we're going to use this as a crumb collector, right? You can see my next covered call, I am going to collect $550. You know, the buy and hold investor would not be collecting $540. And in fact, they would just sit there and probably not look at it. I, on the other hand, I'm looking to take advantage of this recent pullback because Las Vegas Sands is a great company with a great business. And of course, right now, with the way the economy is, they're just feeling the heat. So using my calculators, this is how I determined this current strike price. What we did was this. First of all, I went in and I bought those extra leaps call options. So we're going to reduce our break even. And that's a beautiful thing because had I not done that, I needed to get out in and around 50.37. And I don't know when it's going to trade at 50.37 again, but by buying those extra leaps call options, we've reduced that now to 48.54. And I love that number because the stock isn't really trading much below 47. So that's good. I think it can get there. And I have until June because June is when these leaps call options expire. Now remember, I bought the leaps call options to simulate stock ownership. I bought the right, but not the obligation to take somebody's shares at 38. So I have the paper to buy this person's shares at 38, and I only paid what looks to be an average of $11.80 per share. We're going to get out of this trade because I'm not going to take his shares at 38. I just need the paper so I can write near-term covered calls for the next 4, 5, 6 months. That's the trick of the poor man's covered call. We don't necessarily to ever own the shares. We just write calls and we collect those crumbs. It's a crumb collecting trade. I love them. I do them. Tell you what, these days I'm pretty good at it because I have these calculators for which you can get your copy. It's in the description, man. Do not miss that. I have videos there to teach you how to use this and talk to you about why we need to use these various calculators. Once I went ahead and plugged in the numbers for my leaps call option and where my leaps call option could be priced if they take my shares away from me, we look at the 49 strike. And the 49 strike pays a little bit of a crumb. I mean, I'm not necessarily digging the 54 cents, but remember, we added some leaps call options, so we're now doing this based on 1,500 shares. Now, with that said, when we plug in the numbers, the current leaps is trading at $9.25. The current stock price is $46.84. We're going to pick that 49 strike, and our leaps call option, if our shares are taken away, in theory, should be trading in and around $11.29. Now, my cost basis is $11.80. So I understand that I'm going to lose money on my leaps call option. I totally understand that, and we're going to go with it. But see, here's how we catch up. We write near-term covered calls. Remember we talked about the guy that's sitting on his hands and he won't look at sands until it gets up and above 50? Well, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to collect this $540 in near-term covered call credits, and we're going to keep doing this time and time again because all I have to do is know where my leaps call option is priced and where it'll be if my shares are taken away. Now, another calculator we have to use, right? Because right now, we don't know the expected stock move of Sands. Things been getting ripped. It's down 7%. We don't know where it's going to trade. Well, based on my expiration date, the current at the money IV is 29%. Basically what that means is, and there's a formula attached to this, based on its implied volatility and this expiration date, the stock could move up or down what seems to be $3.83. So this is how we use the expected stock move calculator for any of our trades. Because if you're underwater on a trade and you're worried about picking a strike price for which you might have your shares taken away less than what you paid, losing, well, at least with the expected stock move calculator, you get a feel as to where it could go. And you can then manage the trade. See, that's the important thing. We're going to have to manage this trade if the stock rockets above 49 and beyond. Because if my break even was 50, well, I can't give them away at 49. I'd lose money. Because I bought those extra leaps call options, my break even is not 50. It's now 48.54. This is why I can pick the 49 strike. The stock could have an expected move of $3.83. and that's to 50.66. All I needed to do is to get to 48.54, and in this case, I'm going to have my shares taken away at 49. I'm telling you what, at that point, we are profitable, because if the numbers work out perfectly, where my shares are taken away when the stock's trading at 49, this trade, which will basically be over a month and a half, we collect some 9.4%. 9.4% only using a fraction of the money. See, had I bought 1,000 shares of Las Vegas Sands, I'd have to pony up 50 grand. And if you tack on another 500 shares, you could see how we're going to probably invest about 70 grand in this trade. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm only investing $17,600. See, this is why the Poor Man's Covered Call allows small ball players to get involved. And we can amplify our covered call premium profits. And hey, if the stock shoots higher, we could actually make some money on the Leaps call options as well. Look, inside of that Poor Man's Covered Call tracker, the brand new one for 2024, is the initial trade setup. And the initial trade setup is absolutely golden rule number one. If you're going to do a Poor Man's Covered Call, you have to run your numbers here so you know your profitability. Now, here I am running a Poor Man's Covered Call for TNA. And I may or may not do this trade. In fact, I'm going to put these numbers together and I'm going to make a case whether we do it or not for the members. Because a lot of times the members would love to amplify their covered call profits with both a Poor Man's Covered Call trade and a 3X leveraged ETF. I've been trading 3X leveraged ETFs for 5 years now, and I know them like the back of my hand. We use them to sell premium because our premium is amplified. I know a lot of you naysayers are out there like, oh, don't invest in it, you lose money. Look, when you use 3X leveraged ETF for premium plays, you 3X your returns. Hey, look, whether the stock goes from 33 to 34 to 30, I don't care where it goes. If I can buy them and write an at-the-money strike, collecting 3 times the premium of, say, a bigger S&P type stock, that's where we get our juice. And that's where we can amplify our returns, where we are beating the stock market hand over fist. And as you can see, this trade, which I'm going to send out to the members, whether I would do it or not, it is an 8-day trade. And if my shares are taken away, we're making 16% or $1,700. We've only invested $10,000. This is not a recommendation, and I need you to know about 3X leveraged ETFs before you invest in them. But what I wanted to show you was how we do it at the membership and how I do it so successfully in my trading. There's so many people out there right now that are commenting in my post saying, I'm a scam. Some dude just said I'm a scam in the comments. And it just absolutely makes me sad that all the fake gurus out there have tainted the waters for people that want to help. I've been on YouTube now for 7 years, just showing you my trades. We talk about them, so maybe you learn something. Look, I ain't trying to sell you nothing. Yeah, I got a membership. If you want to be a part of it and take a peek over my shoulder, a successful active shoulder, look, I don't upsell you. And hey, look, you don't like it, you leave. I'm not going to needle you. Look, at the end of the day, it's about upping your game. Okay, I am a successful active trader where I do like 35 trades a month. Everybody's looking for trade alerts. Well, I am the trade alert king because hell, in March, I sent out like 65 of them. If you want to sell premium, right covered calls, sell cash secure put, Poor Man's Covered Calls, and dividends. Every time I send out a closed trade, I run this little calculator. And what I do is I take profits from that covered call premium, and what we do is we then buy dividend paying stocks. And then I let the members know what I bought, because it's about going from the trade to the wealth mindset. See, all of this covered call premium that I show you, and by the way, all this covered call premium that apparently somebody out there thinks is a scam, I'll tell you what, man, I feel bad for you because you're never going to get ahead because you don't trust anyone. Look, I'm not selling you here. I showed you my Poor Man's Covered Call trade on Las Vegas Sands. Where in any of that is a scam? And if you go to my website and you sign up for my membership and you pay a couple bucks and you want to bail, where is the scam? That actually affects me because I really believe I come out here and I show you my trades, we talk about them, and you learn something. I would hate that somebody in the comments taints my attitude and I go away. I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, this has been fabulous because I've met thousands of people around the world hearing their story and hearing how maybe one of my videos helped them. If anything, they've given them courage that they can do it. And they go out and they learn. Because, hey, every single week they see me knocking it down with all these profits. These profits that are very real. And I'm taking those profits and I'm turning it into wealth. And I'm trying to teach everybody, this is what I do and this is what you can do. Hey, look, in the description, get your 2024 Poor Man's Covered Call Tracker. Gotta have that. And if you want to be a part of my membership, go to cptdashboard.com, click Upgraded Dashboard, get your 1 free month. Hey, look, I'm going to leave it there. This Las Vegas Sands trade is going to work its way out. I absolutely feel that Sands will bottom out and it'll move slightly higher, and that's all we want it to do. We don't have to have big 30-point moves every day to make money. And using the Poor Man's Covered Call allows us to use less capital to amplify our covered call premiums. And I'll tell you what, one crumb here, one crumb there, next thing you know, we're talking real money. Hey, look, be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. Until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable.